Business Principles on the Smart Chiropractor Show. Jason, over the last few months, we've been discussing a lot about monthly recurring revenue, its importance, and we've been teasing what's to come with the payday practice. Today, I wanted to touch on why consumables are one of the easiest and most scalable paths to creating monthly recurring revenue. For docs out there, they might be saying, I don't even know what this guy is talking about right now. I'll let you take it away. Why are consumables the easiest and most scalable path to monthly recurring revenue?
Let's put this into some context. It's a super important question. And no, we're not trying to sell you an MLM program. So if you know what that means, that's not where we're going with this. So stay tuned. The context of all of this is first asking yourself, why should I care about monthly recurring revenue? And the answer is because you've got monthly recurring expenses. You've got certain expenses in your business that you have to pay month after month after month after month. I'm sure you can think about them, and you probably, unfortunately, are thinking about them. Your rent, your payroll, your taxes, your utilities, your insurances, maybe even student loans, and on and on and on. You can look and see that there are guaranteed payments you are responsible for making in the months, maybe even years to come. And many of you stress out month after month after month, making sure that you earn at least enough to cover those, let alone more, in order to be able to have a little bit left over to live the life and lifestyle that you want. And in years past, that was a functional system. It was a business model. It's what we were all taught. Somebody comes in, they lay down, you provide a service, they pay you money, or their insurance company pays you money. And every time you do that, like on a factory floor, every time you do it, you get paid. Every time you do it, you get paid. More you do it, more you get paid. Less you do it, less you get paid. And all of this revolves around the fact of making sure that you have what we call a new patient bucket that allows some people to stick around so that you're not always chronically addicted to needing more new patients every month, which unfortunately is how many, I might even say most, chiropractors run their businesses, chronically needing new patients every month, not only to pay the bills, but to make a little bit of extra profit. Well, if anybody's watching, the world has changed. And the world's changed in I'll say, irreversible way. We are never going back to the way it was. There is new consciousness, new world, new technologies, new ways of thinking. You've got this thing called the Great Resignation going on right now, where people are just pausing for a moment. The pandemic got people off the treadmill, and instead of jumping right back on it now that things are sort of opening up, there's a lot of people saying, wait a minute, do I really want to get back on that treadmill of stress? And many people are saying, no, I don't. So the question becomes, what are your options? And I'm not saying you should have a career change. What I am saying is you should consider a business model change. What does that mean? Let me ask you the question. How much money must you earn this month to not feel financially stressed? If I asked you that question, you'd probably come up with a number. You'd probably come up with an amount. If I were able to know that I was making X amount of dollars next month, then I know I'd be able to cover my expenses. I wouldn't be stressed out. I'm not saying I'd run down and be able to buy my dream car. I'm just saying I wouldn't be stressed out. And if I wasn't stressed out, I would be able to show up a happier, more enjoyable, more generous, even more present chiropractor, boss, and partner for whoever you have in your life, family member. And so the question becomes, and that's sort of whole idea of, well, how do I get off the treadmill and actually start building the life that I really want? The answer to that is exactly what I just laid out. Let's find out how you can make sure that you can cover your monthly guaranteed recurring expenses with monthly guaranteed recurring income. Which brings me to Jeff's question. Why consumables? Consumables are the types of things that have over time shown to be the easiest, most sustainable, and most effective way to generate monthly recurring revenue. And our goal for you is to get you out of stress and into freedom. One of the things you'll hear us say is that most of the times you probably started your practice with a dream and it only got hijacked because the financial reality set in and you needed to run a business. That's what happens to most chiropractors I know. And unless they start taking control of their business, they fall into this routine of doing what you got to do to make sure you can pay the bills and support your lifestyle. Well, the payday practice, specifically around consumables, is helping you take control of your business back so you actually can go back to living your dream. And the very simple formula for doing that is to figure out what you need to earn every single month on a recurring basis to cover the expenses you have on a recurring basis. It's a very simple concept. And the question becomes, well, how do I generate that monthly recurring revenue to cover my monthly recurring expenses? And there are 3 different ways to do that. But today we're going to talk about the easiest, most sustainable, and I'll dare say most powerful way to do it. And the reason I say most powerful is because if you fast forward your life, there will be a day at some point in your future. For some of you, it's coming up soon. For some of you, you can't even fathom wanting to get out of practice. You're just starting. But there will be a day, whether it's your choice or your happenstance, whether it's an injury, a disability, or a life event, or you just decide, I want to travel, I want to move, I want to retire. There will be a day that you do not want to show up in your physical practice to provide physical services in a transactional exchange of money. And when that day comes, you are going to be very hopeful that you've got some sort of recurring revenue that can support whatever lifestyle you've created for yourself over time. And this exact conversation is that exact solution. Being able to generate monthly recurring revenue so that you can support your lifestyle. Let's start with your monthly recurring business expenses. That gives you the freedom that at some point in time, you want to bring associates in, you want to move and sell your practice. You can't sell your practice because the market conditions just aren't there, or you're in a place that nobody wants to move. Whatever the reasons are, you are creating financial security. In fact, we'll call it you are financing your future by building a recurring revenue money machine that can support your lifestyle, whether you show up for your practice or not. Now, the reason it's so important and the reason why it's so valuable for you, for chiropractors, is because the fastest way to build that type of monthly recurring revenue is, in fact, to offer the people that already come to see you the products they're already buying anyway. They're already spending this money. In fact, there's nothing to sell. They're already buying. In fact, if I get a little bit truthier, they probably asked you at one point what they should buy, and you gave them some suggestion to go buy it somewhere else. And maybe they did, and maybe they didn't. Maybe they bought something similar, not the right thing, sort of a similar thing, but you were dead set against not wanting to sell supplements because you're a chiropractor, not a nutritionist. You were dead set against it because you didn't want to be perceived as selling stuff. Whatever your excuses were in the past, I'm going to invite you to challenge those excuses and consider that selling is serving. You're not making anybody buy something they don't want. You're not forcing them to do something they don't want to. There's nothing unethical about teaching people about what they need to get well and stay well, and then actually conveniently offering it to them for those that want it. And again, the proof is in the science and the research. Studies show that more than 50% of people take a daily multivitamin. I'm going to extrapolate out, go on a real whim here to say that if people are going to a chiropractor, they might fall into that I'm more health conscious category, and that number is probably more than 50%. So what if it was really easy for you to offer people the products they already are buying, but perhaps at least the same, if not better quality, but make it even more convenient for them to get the results they want? Here's what I mean. Supplements don't work if you just take one bottle, okay? They may work temporarily, but they don't work for the long term, right? Supplementation in your nutrition works if you do it consistently over time. And if you think about your experience, I'll reflect on my experience. Every time I buy a bottle of some sort of supplement, especially if it's more expensive as opposed to less expensive, when I get to the end of the bottle, I'll oftentimes do one of several things. And I'm just being honest. A, I'll slow down taking them. In some cases, I'll stop taking them. In some cases, the bottle will end and I forgot where I got it or don't want to go to the store. Or I mean to go to the store, I just haven't gotten to the store, or whatever the excuses and reasons are. Sometimes you just don't follow through, even though you have the best of intentions. Now, Amazon has caught on to this idea, and they are not coincidentally the success that they are. It is very much on purpose. And so many of you have heard the concept of subscribe and save. What is that all about? That is, if you know you're going to be using this product over and over and over and over again, dish soap and laundry detergent, any type of product that you consume on a regular basis that you know has to be refilled over and over and over again, then it's really smart for companies and consumers to subscribe and save. And that's our message for you here this week. If you start getting the idea that the best way to help others is to make sure you're not in more stress than they are, and the number one stress most of you are feeling out there in the world today is financial stress, and we are introducing to you a new model for you to be able to eliminate the financial stress that holds you back from being the great, generous, kind, optimistic person you really are, who's had a dream to want to be of service to people and is somehow no longer living that dream because of the money. Let's get the money out of the way. Let's figure out what your monthly recurring expenses are. Let's figure out how much you need phase one to stop feeling stressed and start feeling free. Let's generate that money each and every month by giving your people, the people already coming to see you, the people who came to see you on your email list, let's give them what they're already buying, high quality, doctor recommended and formulated, drop shipped conveniently to their home month after month after month. Why? Because it's in their best interest. And now it's in yours. So we'll teach you how to do it if that makes sense to you. The how is easy when you've got a why that is important enough or big enough. That's our goal, and our job is to help you eliminate the financial stress in your life and in your practice so you can be the best chiropractor you can be, and you can have the freedom to practice when you want, where you want, with who you want, without working with who you don't want. Many of you work with patients and payers you would love to fire tomorrow if you could afford to. And when you start taking control of your business through recurring revenue systems like we're talking about, you can afford to have the freedom to work with who you want, when you want, where you want, for as long as you want. And that's really, in a nutshell, the concept of generating monthly recurring revenue. There's multiple ways to do it. Teach you all three ways to do it. But at the end of it all, selling consumables like nutritional supplements is one of the smartest long-term decisions you can make. Momentum matters and procrastination kills dreams. Remember that. The sooner you get started, the sooner you'll be able to fund and finance your dreams and your future. Jeff and I are here to help you do exactly that. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If you've got questions, leave them down below. If you're not sure, go ahead, share your thoughts and ideas on it. Are you doing this already? Do you generate recurring revenue? How does that feel? What's it like to know that every month a certain amount of money is going to come on in to pay certain expenses? What if you can increase that? So again, you built what we call a payday practice. Every month you generate recurring revenue that covers your recurring expenses so that you are free to profit as much or as little as you want above and beyond you generating your expenses. Jeff, hopefully I covered most, if not all of it. What did I leave out, and what else do people need to know?
I think you touched on nearly every aspect of it. We're going to continue to explore these topics as the weeks go on. So docs listening and watching, please enable those notifications on your social channels. Subscribe if you are watching on YouTube. Smart Chiropractor Show is here to explore the topics that can make an impact in your practice. Today's been a fantastic show. we covered just about everything. We started off with mindset as we do each and every week. Great interview with Dr. Ben Johnson, multi-scale locations with Sam Wang, and much, much more mixed in. So if you have questions or comments, you can reach out to us, Jeff at thesmartchiropractor.com. Otherwise, we will count on seeing you next week for another episode of The Smart Chiropractor. Until then, have a fantastic week in practice, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to The Smart Chiropractor. We are posting videos on how you can market your chiropractic practice in a way that teach and invites consistently. We have found that is the magic formula to big time growth. So if you like this video, be sure to comment down below, smash that subscribe button, or visit us at thesmartchiropractor.com.